the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. My name is Hannah, and this is a podcast all about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes sewing, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. How are you? I am so excited to be back with you again after 2 weeks. We have a lot to talk about, but before we do anything else, I want to announce the prize winners from the last episode. So there was a YouTube prize and then there was a Ravelry prize. So the YouTube prize is over here. I put it out of reach. I drew the prize winners right before I started recording this video, so everything is closed down now. The YouTube prize goes to the comment left by Robin Zip, Z-I-P-P. I will put your name on the screen, and I did leave a comment below your comment on YouTube. So you will have 2 weeks to contact me until I record the next episode. Please, please, please send me an email to thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com with your mailing address and your full name if it's not Robin Zip. And I will get this out in the mail to you next week. What you have won is a dodgy bag created by me. It is a little sock-sized drawstring bag. It's got little bird houses and little birds, and on the inside, it's pink. As you can tell, I like pink. So you will get this little dodgy bag, and you will also get a fall crochet pin made by the lovely Claudia of Crochet Luna. All my pins are by her. So Robin, please contact me, please send me an email, and I will get this out in the mail to you right away. The other 2 prizes that I have to announce are for the blurred line sweater pattern. So last episode, if you would like to see what that looks like, go watch the last episode. I talked about it at great length because I love it so much. And actually it was really, really great because I am going to buy a copy for a winner because I love the pattern so much. I think you should make it. And also Deanne from Addie Day Designs contacted me and said she was gonna donate a copy so that there can be 2 winners instead of 1. Thank you so much, Deanne. I appreciate you. I love your patterns. You're such an inspiration to me. So I have drawn those winners as well. I used random number generator. So what I thought was interesting is that both of the people who were drawn for this pattern have never made a crochet sweater before, and I can't think of a better project to start with. The pattern is so well written and it's gonna fit you perfectly. So the first winner was number 9, and your Ravelry name is Jojo G, which I will put here on the screen. You didn't have your first name listed in Ravelry, so I don't know where you're from exactly, but I will buy you a copy of that pattern today. And the second winner is number 61, who your Ravelry name is Beating OT, and you are Kelly from Michigan. So I will send your Ravelry name on to Deanne, and she will get you that pattern in the next few days, which I am really excited about. So thank you so much. Congratulations to the winner. Thank you for everyone who participated. There are so many comments on my YouTube channel that I haven't been able to respond to any of them. I promise you I have read every single one. And normally I make it a point to respond to every single comment on my YouTube channel. There were over 200. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to respond to every single one, but I will go through and respond. If you just responded to the prompt and said what your favorite thing was about fall, that's absolutely fine. You didn't have to put anything else if you didn't want to. But what I'll do is, if you said something else other than what your favorite thing was about fall, then I'll be able to respond to your comment there, hopefully over the next week. I don't know, life has been pretty crazy. I feel like I'm always saying that. I'm always saying life is crazy. Is my life ever calm? No, I do too much. Okay, second order of business. We have a crochet along running for this podcast, and there are a lot of new viewers to this podcast, which, by the way, if you are here for the first time or this is your second time watching the podcast, thank you so much. I'm so happy you've come to spend a little bit of crafty time with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up on YouTube, and if you would like to be kept up to date on any future episodes, do hit the subscribe button down below. And if you want like a notification, I don't generally do that personally, because I am a little bit obsessive about my subscription list and I try to go through them all in order. But you can hit the bell notification and it will like give you a ding when I upload a new episode, which is every 2 weeks on Saturday morning. So we have a crochet along. It is called the Nerd Along. You still have a little bit of time. If you are a fast crocheter or a fast knitter, you can do any fiber art as long as it is a fiber art and not sewing. So it has to be spinning, weaving, embroidery, knitting, crochet, any one of those. You can totally have your whips, but like be reasonable, like don't have, don't start a project that you had like 1 row left on and enter it into the the cowl. Although this has been going for quite some time, so if you've been working on something over the last month and a half, you can totally enter it. There will be prizes, and I have them all spread out around me so that I can show them to you, because I have been talking about prizes but not actually showing you the prizes. So if you are nerdy about anything, if you can justify why it's so important to you, then you can enter it into the crochet along, okay? The hashtag for this is the nerd along, so you can enter it. I'm just gonna jump into the prizes. So first, I have one really big prize, which I am only limiting this particular prize to winners in the United States because it's gonna be really heavy to mail. Everything else I'm happy to mail overseas. That's not a problem as long as your country can accept mail from the United States. So what I have is quite a bit of this yarn. So I have 5 full skeins of this Fiber Natura yarn. It is a cotton linen blend called Naturaline. It is 53% cotton, 47% linen. So what I have is 3 full skeins of white and 2 full skeins of blue. I got this at Tuesday morning quite a while ago, and here's a swatch of what it looks like. The blue, it's a beautiful blue. I really like it, but it's hard on my hands, and I tried to force this yarn into a garment project, and it does not want to be a garment. This yarn is like, this would make the best dishcloth in the world. It's like so stiff and scrubby. Not that you have to make a dishcloth with this, but I was trying to make a beach cover up, and it just was not. It wasn't working, and I personally don't love working with cotton or even linen for that matter, because it just hurts my arm. I have some arm problems, so I need to work at a looser gauge and with yarn that has a little bit more elasticity. So this yarn, I frogged the project quite some time ago, and it has been sitting in my stash for no reason. When you guys could totally be using this. Like, I really like the yarn. And I'm not sure if you can even get it anymore, because Tuesday morning is like they get like closeouts and overstocks and things like that. So I don't know if they're still making this yarn. The colorway, oh, they're so original. This is blue and this is white. Those are the colorways. So there are 5 full skeins. And then I'm also going to send you everything I have left. So there's 3 partial skeins. You'll have to forgive the sound. I'm kind of like throwing these on the floor as I show them to you. And then there is all of this. All of these little balls that were frogged from the project. So it is almost 10 full skeins of this yarn that I'm going to send out as a prize to one person. Hopefully you like this yarn. I really like this yarn. It's just it's a little hard on my hand, and because I am so into garments, I don't think that I will be giving this yarn the project that it deserves, and I know that somebody could love this yarn. So I'm gonna get it out of my stash. I'm gonna send you everything. I'm sorry for all the little balls, but I salvaged as much of the yarn as I possibly could. I maybe threw out, I don't know, 10 to 20 grams out of the whole 10 skeins. So I'm gonna put these on the floor so that they don't roll all over the place while I'm trying to record. So that is one prize for the Nerd Along, and everything else, well, I have a couple prizes that will go together, so let me show you these first. I have one prize specifically for knitters. So this will be drawn only from a knit pattern. It is a book called Knit the Sky, Cultivate Your Creativity with a Playful Way of Knitting, and it's basically like, it's got these whimsical, pretty illustrations, and it's almost like a recipe book for knitting. So it has patterns, but you can take them and do whatever you want with them. So if there's a knitter who wins a prize, or let's say I draw all crocheters, which I can't imagine, but if that's the case, then I will specifically draw this prize for knitters. And whoever wins this book is also going to win a copy of this pattern, which is the Santiam Slouch by Kelly Martin. Hi, Kelly. This is a original design by Kelly. This is Kelly. And it's a beautiful hat. And of course it's knit. So these are gonna be one prize together. And there might be some other stuff in there, but definitely these two will be together. Also, this is a prize donated by a lovely viewer of the podcast, Lori, who sent 3 skeins of this Red Heart with Love sparkle. Oh no, metallic. Red Heart with Love, metallic. Oh, you can see the sparkle. I love it. I especially love this pink one. It also has, look at this cute little stitch marker. I don't know, it's probably not focusing. And a pom-pom. So I think that I'm probably gonna keep these 3 together with the pom-pom, but we'll see. But that has been donated, thank you, Lori. And what else? Oh, I have, if you are interested in crocheting socks, I actually have a DVD. Now this prize was donated by a viewer of the podcast named Nicole. Thank you so much, Nicole. It is a DVD. This is Ron, yeah, this is Ron Strong. He is pretty famous actually in the crochet and knitting community, especially for crochet socks. So this is a master class basically on how to crochet socks. And you will also get yarn to make socks with. So this is 2 balls of Patton's Croy, it's called Brown Rose. And I don't know how well you can see this, but it's like a little chocolate egg stitch marker, which is super cute. So this will all go together. Thank you so much, Nicole, for donating that. And then the last prize I have that was donated, which you guys saw last time, but it's so amazing, I'm gonna show you again, is this fabulous Star Wars bag. It says punch it. These are hand embroidered. On the inside it has cool Star Wars fabric. This is a canvas bag, and it was made by Clarizabeth, who is Crochet Cakes. She has an Etsy shop called Dainty by Crochet Cakes. I love her stuff. I've purchased from her. And also she's just my friend. And I love her, so thank you so much, Clarizabeth, for donating this. This is an amazing prize. And everything else I will show you. I have pulled out of my yarn stash because somebody can love it and I'm not using it. And I'm sorry if I know I keep doing this. I'm sure that's irritating. My hair is too long because it is poking me right in the eyeball and I cannot deal with that. But have I gone to Target and bought a box of hair dye? No. So I can't cut my hair yet because I need to dye it. So I apologize for touching my hair all the time during this particular episode, but hopefully by next time my hair will be a little shorter and a little more manageable. Okay, a couple more things. Number 1, I have a bunch of crochet hooks. Now, these were hooks that I have all used. They were in my stash basically. There are a few duplicates, so I'll split this up between a few packages. I have a 6mm, a 9mm, and then I have 2 each of a 3.5mm and a 5mm. So I have 2 of each of these, so I'll split them up. I now use my Clover Amour crochet hooks because, like I said, I have arm problems and just the ergonomic hook works much, much better for me. I have 1 set of Clover Amours. Those are the only hooks I have used in 2 years probably, maybe a little bit longer or shorter, I mean. So I know that many people have no issue at all with metal crochet hooks. I just personally do because of my arm. Stupid arm. So I'm gonna give these away and hopefully you guys can make use of them. I also have a button pack that I got from an issue of Simply Crochet magazine a while ago. Who knows when that was. I have, you guys saw these before. 2 dodgy Star Wars bags made by me. This one is dodgy because the sewing is fine, but it's upside down. The fabric is upside down, which personally gives it character to me, okay? This one looks pretty decent, although this top stitching is a little wonky, but they're both red on the inside. These will be prizes. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that because you saw it last time. And then, there's more, don't worry. I have some yarn that I have pulled from my stash. I have 1 ball of this Knit Picks Chroma fingering in the colorway Ferris wheel. So it actually has different colors underneath. It has pink, it's got some green. So the colors on the outside of the ball aren't necessarily the ones that are all the way through. The only thing I will say about this yarn, like you could totally get a pair of mitts out of 1 ball of yarn probably, especially child size mitts, because it's 100 grams. You get 396 yards. So that's plenty. The only thing I will say is you need to know what you're doing when you use this yarn because it is impossible to frog. Impossible. I've made a few projects out of this yarn and I really love how it looks. I love the finished project, but I do not love frogging it. The next prize I have to show you, the next yarn is this skein of yarn. Now, this is a Koigu felting merino. It is colorway 108. I don't know. This was made in Canada and it was sent to me last year sometime. It's a fingering weight yarn. I'm not exactly sure how many yards it has because it's like inside. I don't want to mess up the skein. I really like it. It's a non-superwash wool and it's very soft. I'm pretty sensitive to wool and this is not making me prickly at all, putting it on my neck, but these are not my colors, which is why I haven't made anything out of it. So I do better in bright colors or dark colors, but not pastels or muted tones. They kind of wash me out a little bit. So I can think of like a shawl that you could make with this. A one skein shawl would be great, or even as a contrast color, but I haven't used it because I don't think it will look good on me. So I think somebody would love this yarn, especially like I love the blues and the pinks. I don't know. I really like it, but I'm not using it and therefore it needs to be loved. So this is gonna be a prize. And also if you're a needle felter, this is felting merino. So you could totally use this for felting. 2 more. Oh no, 3 more. I forgot a prize that was donated. I could not find my copy of this pattern because who knows where it is because I've already finished it. But Kalisha from the Quirky Monday Craftcast, I'm showing you backwards, has donated a copy of her Puppy Love shawl, which is this pattern that I made. And it has crochet brioche. Hopefully you can see that. And there's a feather stuck to the shawl. This has been living on my couch. I've been using it as a couch shawl. I love this pattern. So she donated a copy of this shawl to a winner as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Kalisha. I also have this skein, which is totally probably gonna blow out the camera, but it's white with sparkle. I only have one, and I thought that it would be really cute to make like a tiny amigurumi out of. I also got this at Tuesday Morning, and this is a really fun yarn because it's called Bamboo Glam. It's 96% bamboo and 4% glitter. But if you can see, this ply is, it's almost like a tube. Instead of a plied yarn, it's a tube of yarn with nothing inside of it. So I think this is really cool. But am I ever gonna make anything out of it? Probably not. I don't like really making amigurumi, so I only ever make them if someone orders one from me. And somebody could be loving this. I mean, you could totally not make an amigurumi with this. You can do whatever you want. But I want it to find a good home. And then finally, I have 3 balls. Oh, look at this purple. Of this Patton's metallic yarn. This is the colorway metallic dark purple. And these are each 100-gram skeins. You get 252 yards. It says that this is a worsted. And again, this is kind of like it's like a tube. I wouldn't say necessarily that this is a worsted because once you pull it, it gets thinner, like a DK. The construction of this yarn is interesting because it's 63% nylon, 28% acrylic, and 9% wool. So you could make something with this. I adore the color. I had actually started a project with this and threw it out. Not because of the yarn. I didn't like the project itself, and it just was not at all what it had turned out to be. So I love the yarn, but I can't think of anything to do with it. So somebody can have this yarn and love it and give it a home and make something with it. Because what's the point of having all this yarn if we never use it? So I want my stash to be like some like workhorse yarn that you just need, you know? Like I have a lot of colors of acrylic because you never know when you're gonna need a color of yarn. But for the most part, the rest of my yarn I have plans for, at least tentative plans or vague plans, something, some idea of what I'm gonna do with it. I don't wanna just have a bunch of yarn that I have no plan for at all. When one of you could be loving this yarn and making something amazing with it. So that's all the prizes for the Nerd Along. I know it's a lot. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna split them up. I know a lot of people when they run crochet alongs do like 1 prize from the finished object thread, 1 prize from the chatter thread. I want to do as many prizes as possible. So I'm going to split them up in such a way that there will be, like if you win 3 of these balls of yarn, I'll probably put some odds and ends with it, but that'll be one prize so that as many people as possible can benefit from having a prize. That was a lot, right? The other very exciting thing I wanted to tell you, just in case you missed my little announcement video, is that my Bellatrix shawl pattern is live on Ravelry. I've had so many people reach out and tell me that they have made this, or they're going to make it, and they're really, really excited. This is a pattern made with crochet short rows. My worsted weight version is on the couch right over there, and I was wearing it all last night. It's the perfect couch shawl. This one I wear like this, which I'm not gonna keep it on because Florida has not gotten the memo that it's fall. We had like one day of semi-chilly weather, and it is 85 degrees today. Oh man, so this is how I wear it. I love it. And if you want it to stay like this all day, you just probably need to safety pin it because it's more of a shawlette, although you can make this in any size. I've included instructions on how to do that in the pattern. So I will leave a link directly to this below and all of my other patterns. I am a crochet designer on Ravelry, so you can check this out. Thank you so much to everyone who supported that. I did want to also just say a little bit about myself because I noticed that we have quite a few new subscribers, so welcome. I would love to know where you came from. Did someone like mention me, or I don't know, there's been quite a jump recently, so welcome. I'm so glad you're here. As I said at the beginning of the episode, my name is Hannah. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. I have been crocheting for 6 years-ish. I have been knitting since college. I come from a yarny family. My dad knits, but I didn't really learn how to knit until I was in college. And crochet is like my life now, so actually I wish it was my life. It's not really. For my day job, I am actually a pastor at a church in Tampa, and for my night job, because you can never have just one job, obviously. That would be so boring. This is why my life is so insane. I am an adjunct professor at a school, so I mostly do online classes. Speaking of, I really need to grade some papers today. But instead I'm recording a podcast because this is what makes me happy. So I do that. And then in all the other moments, I do crochet. I crochet. And sometimes I knit. And I wish I could spend every moment of my life with yarn. One can dream, right? But that probably wouldn't really be good for me because it would kill my arm. And then my crochet years would be limited. So that's a little bit about me. I am married. If you hear any typing or noises, that's because my husband, who is working from home, is right there, like 10 feet away. So hey, this is real life. Just the same as I'm not wearing any crochet today because it's hot. This is real life. But look, there's crochet right here. I always forget to say this, but this is the Lottie and Albert rainbow blanket pattern. It is a free pattern online where you just I held 6 strands of yarn together and used a giant crochet hook. And stash busted. So this is all 100% acrylic, and it goes, it's like all different pinks. So yeah, it stays on the couch and it gets used quite often actually. You would think it wouldn't because I live in Florida, but no. Blankets in this house are a hot commodity. It's been long enough, don't you think? We should talk about some actual crochet. I have one finished object, and only because I finished it last night. And it is another, shocker, knitted hat. I don't really have a pattern for this. I just cast on 88 stitches, did a 2x2 knit purl rib for 4 inches. Then I knit in the round stockinette until I got to 9 3/4 inches, and then did the decreases. The decreases, I am using the classic cuffed hat pattern on Pearl Soho's website. It's free. That's how I've been doing the decreases for this hat. I'll probably have it memorized. This is number 3 of 8 to 10 that I need to have done in January. So I really need to actually step up and do this faster because this is only number 3. So hopefully I'll have another completed hat next time. Although, I don't know. Who knows? It's living in my hat bag, which is so cute. I love this bag so much. It's the perfect size. This is why it's my hat bag. For the needles to be this way, and I just put it in the bag. I don't have to bend them or like mess with the cable or anything. It's just the perfect size for that. That's my only finished object. I'm going to show you I have 3 works in progress. One of them I have spent pretty much all of my time on. So I'm going to save that one for last. But I'll show you the other two first. One is living in this amazing bag. This is by Claudia of Crochet Luna, and so are these pins. This says nobody puts crochet in a corner. That's awesome. And this is the crochet sock badge because I was participating in Sock Along and I made one pair of crochet socks already. This is my second pair of crochet socks. I am not that far. I am using, oh, and I should have got this ready. I'm using the My Sweet Socks pattern, which is a pattern by Caroline of the Mind and Muse podcast and Clarizabeth of Crochet Cakes. They designed this pattern together. The yarn I am using is this amazing purple blue. It was hand dyed by Melody of the Melody Crochet podcast, and she sent this to me last year, and I've been waiting for something perfect to come along for it, and I thought crochet socks would be perfect. So this is where I am. I have an entire foot, although not quite, and let me tell you why. So first I am making the largest size, which is I think the 9 and a half inch, I don't know. The largest size of the pattern. There's 3 sizes for this pattern. And the whole time I was making the toe, and like until I was about here, I was like, this is gonna be gigantic. This is not going to fit me. I have a size 8 foot American. Like that's not a huge foot, right? No, this fits. It still may be a little too big, but I can get this on and off my foot with no problem, which is helpful considering I have problems getting on and off my first pair. So it has a wedge toe, which this is all single crochet, and this is a free pattern. And it has this pattern down here, which you can't really tell, but you can tell that it's different from the single crochet. So I did exactly how many inches was specified in the pattern. And then I did the heel late at night. Bad idea. So I don't know what I was doing with the heel. Like I did the heel turn completely fine. I had that, and then when I started to do the gusset, like the back of it, I ended up with like 20 less stitches than I should have. How do you end up with that many less stitches? I don't know what was happening. Anyways though, I tried it on and the foot was not long enough. So I need to do at least another ½ inch and then try it on again, and maybe even do the heel turn again, because this is not gonna fit. So I need to do another ½ inch. I was determined to get gauge for this sock because I had gauge problems on my first sock. I had to go down to a 2.25 millimeter crochet hook, which shouldn't shock me because that is what I knit my socks on, a 2.25 millimeter knitting needle. But knitting is a little bit different than crochet because I don't really have to look at it when I'm knitting. Crochet I have to look at, and I find working with a 2.25 hook quite fiddly. But once I got the hang of it, it was a little bit easier. So I don't know that I got row gauge, which is maybe why I need to have a few more rows to fit this on my foot. But I did get stitch gauge, and this is a really dense fabric. It's a lot thicker than a knitted sock. So we'll see. I love how it looks. Hopefully I'll have a heel to show you next time. The pattern is written for like a full length sock, and it has like cupcakes that go around the cuff on the ankle, and you can do like multiple rows if you want. If you hear that sound, my husband is making eggs. It's lunchtime. He's putting pepper on his eggs. That's what that sound is. I don't think I'm gonna do the cupcakes because I pretty much only do shorty socks. I don't wear long socks ever unless it's like 30 degrees, which it never is because I live in Florida. So I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'll just do the heel flap, get it up over my ankle, like just a little bit, and then do just a cuff. So yeah, that's my crochet sock. Pretty good, I think, for try number 2. Second project that I've been spending a little bit of time on is a design. This button says, "Happiness is crochet," which of course it is. It is quite a bit bigger, I think, than the last time you saw it. This is my shawl. This is a shawl design. So I still have quite a bit to go, actually. I want this to be gigantic and very cozy. And you can't really tell because of the gray, but we have a solid panel and then a ribbing panel, and then it repeats. So I'm gonna do gray all the way through one more solid panel. This is Barocco Vintage Cotton DK. Vintage cotton. No, there's no cotton in this. This is acrylic and wool. Barocco Vintage DK. And then this is going to be the bottom, the border of the shawl. So I am concerned that I am playing yarn chicken, but I guess if that's the case, I'll just order another ball of yarn. Is that the end of the world? No. Barocco's dye lots are pretty consistent because it's a commercial yarn. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Let's talk about this last project, shall we? I'm so excited. This is the project that I've dedicated all of my time to. All of my time. Minus those 2 little projects. And mostly that work got done in between rows of this when my arm needed a break. It is living in this amazing Halloween tote bag because I don't subscribe to social norms and I can use Halloween bags whenever I want, okay? Just like I'll use Christmas bags in January. It doesn't matter. It makes me happy. Anyways, this was made by Beth of Crochet Cakes. And I ordered this and I love it so much. And there's a pin, obviously from Claudia of Crochet Luna. I don't even think you can read that. But basically what it says is crochet friends are the best friends. And I put it on this bag because they're both my crochet friends. What is living in here? Some of you will know what this is. It is my crimson hooded cardigan. And if I was more prepared, I would have a picture ready to show you. This is what it looks like. This is a crochet pattern by Shannon Mullet-Bowlesby, who is one half of the Sheba guys. You can go follow them on Instagram. They're amazing designers. They're amazing people. I am using, is this attached? This ball is attached. I am using Webb's yarn, Valley Yarns, Haydenville in the colorway red. I am on to my 5th ball of yarn. So I've done quite a large amount of work. Let's see, this ball is attached. So I have completely finished the back piece. And I'm sorry, it's been folded, so it's a little crinkly. You see this? Oh, you see this stitch marker right here? That's where I was last time I showed this to you. five or six rows in. So in the last week, I have completely finished the back piece. And as you will remember, I ripped this out a few months ago, several months ago, when I decided that I was making the wrong size. This is a medium. I was making a large, which is ridiculous. That would have been way too big. So this is the cable pattern on the back. All of this is single crochet. So I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. It's been a long time since I've been so obsessed with a crochet pattern that I had that like 1 more row syndrome instead of going to bed. But this did that to me. Like I would literally be like, just 1 more row, just 1 more row. And one of the great things about this pattern is you do all of the cable work on the right side. So every wrong side row, you are just single crocheting, which is a nice rest row because the cable requires concentration. I had 0 problems with this cable. I had 0 problems with my stitch count. It zoomed. Let me tell you what is not zooming. The front piece. I'm quite a ways in, as you can see. I have, I think, 25 more rows to go on this front piece, and then I have to do it all over again. The difference is, I think for the back piece, you do a foundation chain of like 90-ish, 92 maybe. For the front piece, you do like 72. So this is only 20 stitches shorter than the back piece, and I have to make 2 of them. And there is cable work the whole way. This lattice cable panel, which is beautiful, but it means that you really have to concentrate the whole way. It's not necessarily, to me, it's not memorizable. At least I haven't memorized it so far because it's an 8-row pattern repeat. I have shaped for the shoulder and the sleeve. This is the left panel, so it'll be here. I still have like 25 more rows to go, and then an entire another panel to make out of this. So a couple of thoughts. One, the pattern is very well written. However, this is not a beginner pattern. You need to know what you're doing in crochet and in cables to work this pattern. The Interweave Crochet Magazine has a scale of 1 to 4 on pattern difficulty, and they rate this a 3 out of 4, and I would agree. It is not so mind-boggling that you really, really, really have to think, but if you don't know about cables, you will not fare very well on this pattern. Now, I am a firm believer that you can make anything you want to with enough dedication, time, and concentration. I am glad I have made other cable projects before this. Now my husband's doing the dishes. What is happening today? So yeah, my gauge is fine. I got gauge. When I block this, it'll be fine. My only kind of concern is if I can't really block this much because there'll be like these little holes in the lattice work. So there's that. Also, this is very heavy. I am not sure how practical this is going to be as a crochet garment. I really, really would like to have it finished by Christmas to wear as my Christmas sweater. With how slow this is going, I don't know, because I have to make an entire another panel and the sleeves, which are longer than normal sleeves because they go down to your fingertips and have a thumb hole. And then once you have pieced everything together, you then continue this lattice work to make a hood. This pattern calls for 15 balls of yarn. I am into my 5th ball right now. So the back piece used three balls, I think. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, 3 balls of yarn. This is used 2.5 so far, maybe 2 1/4. I am only 1/3 of the way through the yarn required for this pattern. That's going to weigh 1,500 grams, not 15, yeah, 1,500. It's gonna weigh 1,500 grams when it's done. That is quite heavy for a crochet sweater. Now, I know that it's made in single crochet, so it's pretty tight on itself. However, I feel like it's going to grow over time. Now, this is an acrylic and merino blend, but I mean, merino always grows, and just the weight of this sweater when it's pieced together is going to make it larger. I can't imagine if you were making this in a much larger size, because the sizing goes up quite a bit. It goes all the way to I am making a 41-inch bust measurement. That is the medium. It goes all the way up to a 65-inch bust measurement, which will take 24 balls of yarn. I don't know how that's practical to wear. Now, I am still going to finish this because I think it's amazing, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be completely practical to wear, but it's gonna be really heavy, and I think it's gonna make it grow in the long term. It's still gonna be beautiful, even if it only comes out once a year. It's worth making to me because this is like the ultimate crochet project. But just an FYI, this uses a lot of yarn, and this is one of the reasons why this is a seamed garment, I am sure, and not a top down, because when you have a seamed garment, it gives much more structure. So you have seams here that keep it together, you have seams on the sides, you have seams for the sleeves. That gives the garment a lot more structure than a top down with no seams. It's just gonna grow and grow and grow indefinitely if it weighed this much. So the seaming will help, but I don't know, can we just take a minute to appreciate these beautiful cables? I know the red's blowing out the camera, but this is the project that has gotten all of my love and all of my time and some of my frustration, because I want to work on this constantly, but I also can't work on this at night or I end up losing a stitch. It's happened 3 times, and having to rip out a few rows. Actually, somewhere in here I lost a stitch and couldn't find it, so I just like fudged it because I didn't want to rip out like 10 rows. But the other times I only had to rip out a row and a half, so I figured that was okay. So I don't know, we'll see. As long as I have steam for this project, I'm gonna keep going straight ahead and get as much done as I can. And if I run out of steam, then I'll work on something else. It's not like I don't have enough whips in my life. I have so many. I'm itching to cast on, hook on, new things. I have been very restrained. The only new project I have started in the past 2 weeks are those socks, which I knew I was gonna start anyways because I wanted to go directly into crochet sock pair number 2. Oh man, I do have one very special acquisition to show you. I got the happiest thing in the mail and I was so blown away. And I just want to say, I have talked about this particular person and this dyer quite a bit in recent podcast episodes, and you are about to see why. It is Leah from Sheep Happens Yarn. She told me that she was putting together a little giveaway package for you guys, which I am saving this for a very special giveaway that will be coming soon. I don't know exactly when, but definitely in the next couple of months. And you are gonna want to get this. So she made, first of all, the most beautiful project bag with these little flowers, and on this is the reverse side. And she even did decorative stitching. Like, Leah, your stitching is amazing. This is in no way, shape, or form a dodgy bag. It is seriously impressive. And then she dyed, I don't even want to take them out because it's so beautiful. I'm just gonna push it down a little bit. This yarn for you guys, 3 skeins of yarn. So this is going to be one very special prize. I could split this up, but I don't want to. This gradient is like the most amazing thing. This is her extra fine merino sock base. This is the colorway Wild One. It is a one of a kind. I love it. This is the colorway, well, actually both of these. Okay, so a Wild One is not a colorway. It is like when Wool and Vine Yarn does a strange brew, it's non-repeatable. So basically it's a type. These two are non-repeatable, one of a kind colorways. So if you win this, you'll have yarns that no one else has. And then this is the colorway Float. And I think these are so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And this is like one of those little bento bags. Like this. You could totally do this. Close it up, put it over your arm, and knit or crochet directly out of the bag. So it's such a beautiful package. When I opened it, I was literally like, oh my goodness. I sent her a message immediately and was like, what did you do? This is the most amazing thing. I should tell you the content. It is 85% extra fine merino and 15% nylon. 437 yards to 100 grams. So I think these colors are incredible. Leah, you have outdone yourself. This is going to be a very special giveaway, so just keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going in a little prize pile for something special coming soon that I will tell you about later. And also, that's not all. She sent me a pink one. This is the colorway Heartbreaker. I don't know what it is recently, but I am in love with tonal yarns right now. Like, seriously in love with them. I love all the things I am looking at, and the projects I am looking at are like tonals, semi-solids. Like, I just want to make things in plain's the wrong word, like a solid color. Like, I don't want it to be like super intense or stripy or anything like that. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I thought about designing a hat, and maybe I still will, but maybe I'll just make something with it for the joy of making something. I don't know. It's so beautiful. And it is so soft. Like, I am rubbing, like I said, I'm pretty sensitive. If you are sensitive to wool, even if merino makes you prickly sometimes, this is the yarn for you. Extra fine merino sock. It is, I don't know where it said that. It had somewhere I read, maybe a little package she sent me, about the micron count. This is the softest merino yarn I think I have ever felt. I don't know where you get your bases, Leah, but this is incredible. So you should go to her shop. I'll leave a link to it below. Get yourself some Sheep Happens yarn. You will not regret it. I have made 2 projects out of her yarn already, and I have no complaints whatsoever. I have only been happy, and this color is amazing. And then she also sent me some Licka crochet hooks to test out. I have never used these. As I said before, I pretty much only use my Clover Amours. I will be trying these. The only reason I have not tried them yet is because I do have a project on the hook that's using a 4mm hook, but I did not want to I didn't want to switch hooks in the middle of the project because that will affect my gauge, I am pretty sure. So I'm gonna have to start something new to test these out. and I will give you my opinion on them. She sent me these specifically to test them out and see if I like them. I mean, they're beautiful. They're the driftwood crochet hooks. And I don't know what I was just gonna say. I also didn't want to use them because I wanted to show them to you in their glorious packaging. So thank you, Leah, for sending me those. I will definitely test them out. I just need to start a new project to do so. Oh, okay. I have no idea how long I've been talking because I had to stop this video like 3 times, which is gonna be ridiculous for editing. But hey, you know what? That's how life has been going the last 2 weeks, so it shouldn't be surprising. It has. I am feeling very positive and happy today. That has not necessarily been the case for the last 2 weeks. It's been kind of a rough 2 weeks, and for no particular reason. I was just feeling kind of anxious, kind of overwhelmed, and I wasn't sleeping very well, and also this time change is ruining my life. Can we please just pick one? Like, I don't even care which one. Just pick it, leave my time alone. Stop changing it twice a year. But, so I wasn't sleeping very well. And y'all know how I love sleep. So, because I wasn't sleeping very well, I was intensely emotional. Like, on Monday this week, Monday? I'm pretty sure it was Monday or Tuesday. I was driving to work, and one of my parishioners, one of the members of the congregation of the church where I am one of the pastors, sent me a text and was like, oh, just thinking about you, praying for you, hope you have a great day. And I full on burst into tears. So I'm driving down the interstate, just ridiculous, okay, ridiculous. I'm just like, wherever the edge is, I'm like perched just right there. So today I'm much, much happier, and I would say for the last couple of days I've been a lot happier. I've been sleeping a little better, but it's been a couple of weeks, and you know what? That's okay. And I have one design currently being tested by my pattern testers, which is the Pine Forest cowl. I have a hat pattern that I should be working on, and I have that shawl pattern, and it was all a little overwhelming, so I quit working on them. And you know what? That's fine too, because my life does not depend on whether or not I release this crochet pattern. I don't have to be mean to myself. I don't have to put these unnecessary deadlines on myself. Crochet should be about love, and like the love of the yarn and the project. And that's why I have spent all of my time working on this project, because that's the project that made me happy. And this should be something that brings me joy. So when I am ready to go back to the hat, then I will work on the hat, and it's totally fine. So I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I'm giving you permission to work on what you want. You don't have to put these requirements and deadlines on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Go to bed an hour early. If you don't feel like crocheting that day, then don't. If you don't feel like, it's okay to have a day where you don't want to interact with anyone in the world. It's okay. Now, if that stretches on and you continue to not feel great and to be anxious and to be overwhelmed and to feel sad for a longer period of time, okay, do something about it. Do the positive things that bring you joy in your life. But it's okay to have a bad day. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's okay to have a bad week. It's okay to have a bad 2 weeks. I know, I've been there. It's fine. It's what can you do to grasp moments? So when I am really intensely emotional, it goes like this, right? And I don't generally get angry. I get sad if I'm going to be emotional. So I'll be happy, and then I'll be like, with that face, I'm sure. So does that mean that I need to beat myself up because I'm feeling really sad for a particular time? No. But it means that when I'm feeling happy, I should appreciate that, and I should focus on that, and I should celebrate it. I shouldn't be like, oh, I'm feeling great today. Well, I should have been feeling great yesterday and the day before. Why weren't you? You're so stupid. No, we have this internal dialogue that is absolutely ridiculous. And this is the rule, and I've said this before on the podcast. If you would not say that to your best friend, then you are not allowed to say it to yourself. If I would never in a million years look at my friend and be like, you're stupid and you're ugly and you're lazy and you're just so emotional and nobody wants to hang out with you. Like, I would never say that to her, because it would be a lie, because she's smart and incredible and strong, and I always want to hang out with her, and I think she's beautiful. Like, all of this is true, right? So if I'm not allowed to say that to her, then I am not allowed to say it to myself. I need to be my own best friend. And you need to be your own best friend as well. Okay? I'm sorry, I got a little preachy there. I can't help it. I feel like I've had caffeine, even though I have not. But I think part of it also was I have been working a lot. This is the busy time of year. We're pretty much gonna have another week or two of semi-calm, and then December is gonna be like working until Christmas Eve. Pretty much every day there's something going on, and then we have a week off. From Christmas to New Year's, the whole office closes, so it's awesome that we have that time off, but that in itself is another thing that you have to be careful of, right? So for a normal person, having a period of working intensely, they may be fine with that. And sometimes I am fine with that. I'm fine with being busy. I'm fine with all of that. But sometimes I can't handle it. Like, my threshold for how much I can do in my life seems to be lower sometimes than other people's. And that's okay. That's also okay. But I need to understand that. So at the end, last Friday, I worked from like 8 a.m. till like 6 p.m. We were doing a big fundraiser golf tournament kind of a thing, which funds a lot of missions activity and like our big Christmas program for the rest of the year. So when I got home, I was pretty much dead. Like, I couldn't even move my body. I was so tired. We actually ordered food in, which we almost never do, because I could not leave. I just couldn't leave the house. And then I went to bed at like 8:30 or 9. And the next day I was like, I don't understand why I was so tired and like so out of it, because my body was telling me that it had had enough. And I know that that's frustrating, especially if you struggle with like any kind of illness or ailment that gives you less space than what you think a normal person should have. I know that that's a struggle, but you just need to listen to your body. Like, if I had forced myself to stay up, then Saturday would have been awful. So I guess I'm just saying, be kind to yourself. You can be your best advocate. You can be your biggest fan. And you should be. Be your own best friend. Surround yourself with lovely people. Surround yourself with lovely yarn. Work on projects that make you happy. And that's it. Eat good food. So yeah, I think I have one exciting thing to tell you, which I will talk about more in the next podcast. Next Friday, 1 week from today, I am going to have a crochet meetup with 3 other podcasters in Orlando, and I'm just so excited. I can't even stand it. So Clarisabeth from Crochet Cakes, and Caroline from Mind and Muse, and Kalisha of the Quirky Monday Craftcast, we are all going to meet up in Orlando, and we're going to have just some crochet time and like get to see each other. I've met Clarisabeth before last year, and it was so awesome. But her mom is actually visiting her from Puerto Rico, so I'm going to get to meet Caroline. Oh, I'm so excited to meet you. And I'm going to meet Kalisha in real life, which we've been talking about arranging for some time now, and she's only in Orlando. Well, Elizabeth's only like an hour past Orlando, so I'm just so excited that it's happening. I can't wait to see you guys. And it's Kalisha's stomping ground, so she knows like a great coffee shop and some yarn shops. Perfect. So perfect. So that's what I'm doing next Friday. But I'll tell you all about that in the next episode, which will be in 2 weeks. And until I see you again, happy crafting. I hope you have the best time with your yarn. Leave me a comment below. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me something that brought you joy this week. And yeah, I guess that's it. This is not a good end to the podcast. Well, anyways, give me a thumbs up if you like this episode. Do hit the subscribe button if you would like to be kept up to date on future episodes. And if you are looking for me anywhere on the interweb, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook as The Cozy Cottage Crochet. If you have any inquiries about the podcast, please email me at thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com, and come join our Ravelry group. We have a great Ravelry group. There's a link to it directly below, but you can also just search in the groups tab for The Cozy Cottage Crochet. Until I see you next time, happy crafting, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye!